Hello students, so in today's class we are going to cover a next topic, that is input-output functions. Though we have practically implemented some of the input-output functions in this chapter, in this lecture I am going to cover that functions as well as some other functions as well. So first of all we will start with Printf and Scanf, because I know that you all are familiar with Printf and Scanf from now. Printf is basically used when we want to take value from system, some variables value, and want to print that on the screen. In opposite of this, Scanf is basically used to take value from user and give this value to our system, right? So this is Printf is output function and Scanf is input functions. Now, whenever our compiler is encountering Printf and Scanf, at that time what actions should be taken is defined in the header file stdio.h. So basically the definition of Printf and Scanf is defined inside this header file. That's why it is compulsory to include this header file before starting our program. Similar way, we have some other header files like conio.h, string.h, etc. So this header files contains some other variables, some other input-output functions as well, which we are going to study in this chapter as well. Okay, so now if I go further, first I would like to talk about printf functions. See, in the end of this chapter, in the end of this lecture, I am going to perform a practical in which I am going to cover all of these functions. So don't worry about that. But right now, just understand the theoretical part that basically printf is used when we want to print character, integer, float, octal or hexadecimal kind of values. So by using single printf, you can print output of including this data types. So printf is compatible with this data types. Now there are some formats to print value on screen. So you know that for integer we used to use %d. Similar way, for floating points we are using %f. For double we are using %lf, which is nothing but the kind of long float. Then for character we are using %c. For strings we are using %s. You can see the syntax for printf over here. Like you have to first write the format specifier and then you have to write the variable name whose value you are going to print in the place of that format specifier, right? So you can see int a equal to 5 is declared over here, and then after you are printing its value. So basically printf is compatible with /n character character value, because sometimes it may happen that you want to print your output in new line. At that time you can use /n. So there will no problem if you are using /n with printf. Now what is next? Here I have given an example, one code. So here this code you can also perform in your IDE and see the output. In this code I have defined a equal to 5 as an integer value and y equal to 10 as an integer. Then character b equal to z. Now as z is initialized for a character value, it is enclosed between single and comma, because it is mandatory that whenever you are declaring character or you are initializing character, character will always be enclosed within single noded comma. Now here C is declared as float and it is assigned or initialized with the value 10.5. Now I am using printf over here to print something as integer value is %d, character value is %c, float value is %f, octal value as %o, and hexadecimal value as %x. And in place of variable name, I am respectively placing a, b, c, y, and y. Right? So even if you want to print the hexadecimal value of some decimal values or integer values, you can use format specifier for that. As I am using %o and %x for printing octal and hexadecimal value for my decimal value 10. Okay, so you can perform this program and you will see that you are going to get output something like this. Right? So this is all about printf. Now what about scanf? Basically, scanf is used when you want to take value from user, because every time it is not a case when I am going to initialize a variable. Most of the cases in real time scenario, I have to ask user to enter value. At that time, because of scanf function, user will be able to enter some value in my command prompt, and that value will be stored in the variable which is given in the address. Whose address is given in the syntax of scanf. So we know that the difference between printf and scanf is the sign AND. So AND is used in scanf, but it is not used in printf. And so many students are mistaking by just not putting AND before variable name in scanf. So basically, AND operator is used to say that this is the address of this variable. So suppose I have done AND A, that means address of variable A. So whatever value is entered by user in command prompt will be sent to a system where AND A, that means address of A, at the place of address of A. So it will be sent to variable A and it will be stored inside variable A. Similarly, for printf, we are also using format specifier for scanf, which is %d for integer, %f for float, %lf for double, %c for character, and %s for strings. Right, but one thing that you remember that float is compatible with all of this data type, right? Because in in this video I am going to show some other input-output function which is not compatible with all of this data type. But scanf is compatible with all of this data type. But one other difference between scanf and printf is that scanf should not it is not advisable to use /n in scanf. You can use /n in scanf and see that what will the output come. You will see that the output will be erroneous. So you can see the syntax over here, and it is advisable to avoid using new line character with scanf. Here, so there are some other input-output functions. You can see the other input-output functions as well. Like getChar is basically used to take character from user. Then putChar is basically used to print some character on the screen. Similarly, for strings, we are having some functions. For getH, which is basically used when character is not echoed on. So if you want to perform step-by-step implementation of this character, so you can use getch. Like if you are using Turbo C, you will see that without using getH, your output screen is not visible. So if you want to make your output screen steady, you have to use getch. In my Turbo C IDE, but for Dev C++, it is not mandatory to use. Now let's just go to my IDE and we'll see that how this operations can be performed practically. I hope you understand the theory, right? Now let's do the practicals. Hello students. So now in our IDE, we are going to perform the program for input-output functions. So you all know that for printf and scanf, I have to first include stdio.h header file int main, then return 0, right? So now I am declaring A as integer, B as float, and for demonstrating about characters, I am declaring C as character. And thereafter, I am going to enter each of this value with the help of user. So first, %d because I am going to enter the value for A, then B that is float, and then C because it is character value. Here and A and B and C. Okay, now after this I have to write or I have to print it on screen so that you can see the output. That's why I am using printf function. The value of A is %d, B is %f, and C is %c, and here after that A, B and C. Okay, so you know that what will be the output over here. Let me just save this program, compile it and run it. You can see here I am entering 1, then 2, then I am entering K. So the value of A is 1, B is 2.000000 because it is accurate up to 6 decimal places, and then C is K because I have entered value K in place of character C. So now you know that Scanf and Printf are compatible with all of this data type. What if I don't want to use Scanf? At that time, if I am having character data type, then I can use another function, that is getChar function. So similar with Scanf, because of getChar, user will be able to enter some value. Now where this value should be stored? It should be stored inside some variable, and that is given by C because C is our character variable. So C is equal to getChar. So now whatever value is inserted by whatever character is inserted by user will be stored to the C. If I have declared it as CH, it should be CH over here. Okay, I hope you guys understand this, and instead of this I want to use putChar, right? So which character should be printed? CH character should be printed. So let me just save this program, compile it and run it. Let me just enter K over here. You can see K is printed, but the disadvantage is you cannot print, or let me just see if the character is, and here if I am using plus or something signs like this, if I compile it and run it, you can see this kind of conversation is not available. So you cannot use any kind of this kind of statements by putChar. You can directly put the value of character. So getChar is basically used in place of Scanf when you are dealing with characters only, and putChar is basically used for Printf when you are just dealing with or when you are just printing characters value. Now there are some other functions such as getCH. If you have any doubt in input-output functions, you can just comment below the comment section. I'll answer there, or you can also personally ask me. I am always ready to help you guys. I hope you enjoy this class and see you in the next class. Thank you so much.